Oh my God!
go.
Holy shit! Do you hear that?
What?
Do you hear it?
What?
I hear it. It's the MIDI sound of my terrible 1960s Batman MPEG that I made. That means it's time for Build a Better Batman.
Build a better Batman.
Build a Better Batman is
Build a
the
Better
crazy
Batman.
show where I give you some dingaling from Batman's history who was a terrible, terrible crime boy, and we have to construct a film. We have to build the better Batman. We have to make it at least as good.
I just hope he's better than 9 Lives, man.
Nine Lives,
He was
man,
so
sucked
shitty.
so hard. So just to recap, last time we did this, we did 9 Lives, man. He was a failed magician who pretended that he couldn't die, and then scoundrels got a hold of him and made him like lead them on real crime. And then he faked his own death. And then when Batman found him, he leapt out of a first floor window, smacked his head on a brick wall, and died in a dirty alleyway. And that was literally the full lives of 9 Lives Man. No, today we are going to be doing
No.
King of Cats.
Oh, no.
King of Cats.
King o' Cats.
King of Cats, whose real name is Carl Kyle. Carl Kyle was the heretofore unmentioned and never again mentioned brother of Selena Kyle, Catwoman.
He's actually, I'm looking him up. He's kind of sexy.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, the first time, though, that they drew him, he looked like a pervert who wanted to date your cat. And he drove around in an anatomically correct cat car to cruise around town where he sat in the cat's butt. And then, I don't know why this is a big deal. He didn't call it the Catmobile. He called it the kitty car.
Oh.
So I'm going to amend my previous statement. He looked like a pervert who wanted to date your teenage daughter's cat. He looked like the sex pest that went to furry conventions and got kicked out. So Carl Kyle's only appearance in the Batman universe, unless they resurrected him, possibly for the New 52, because that whole universe sucked, was he wanted to seduce his sister back into a life of crime because she had given up the biz, stopped being Catwoman, and was a shopkeeper. And
he was mad because she was making like a real ass living.
A legitimate, because now here's the part where it gets spooky and gross, is that he was usually drawn to look like he kind of had a thing for his sister. He wanted her to be the queen to his king of cats.
Oh my God, his Catmobile is
the kitty car
is as stupid as it is amazing.
The kitty car. It's a purple.
It's so dumb.
It's got
Is it kind of a? Please tell me it looks kind of like a Hello Kitty car.
No, it looks like the
yeah.
bat.
I
It
wish
looks
it
like the
did.
Batmobile, except
Hold
that it's
on.
a cat with a tail. It's got like 16 feet of hood, so the driver's the
look,
steering
this
wheel.
This is what you're dealing with right now.
Wow.
So
It's-
wait,
it's
is she showing you?
terrible.
Is she showing you this one?
She is.
Ah.
Yeah,
that's
that
it,
is
yeah.
the exact
That is
one that I showed
awesome.
him.
That is
So-
a kitty car.
Yeah. So let's start. Let's start with a title. What is the title of our Batman King of Cats caper?
I think you just said it.
I think you just
The
said
I think
it.
that's
Cat's
it. The King
caper?
of Cats caper.
Really?
We're going
Yeah.
for alliteration here, big time today. So
I think we should go for like sort of like a retro 1930s sort of like grim crime noir sort of Batman.
Unless it's 1960s and we've got
We could
the
do that,
Adam
too.
West style Batman. I mean,
we could
that
do
would
that,
be where
too.
it could work the best.
If we do the
that would make
1960s
sense.
one, I feel like just getting an actual cat with a little king hat, sort of like I'm going to show
Okay.
you first.
Okay, show Todd.
oh yeah,
Todd first.
that works.
Okay, let me
And
see.
then I'm going to show you next.
That is exquisite. Let's see if we can
And just
describe
like-
that for our listeners.
It's just a regular cat who looks
That is some royalty.
a
we're
little.
looking
He
at.
looks a little sad. He looks like he has like a real sad, tragic backstory with a little king hat on.
It's a
and
real cat.
It's a real cat and a very dapper tuxedo with a beautiful little red bow tie. He looks
And
very
a-
regal.
And a satin-lined cape.
He looks very beautiful. He looks very soft.
Yeah, what
He
you're
looks-
seeing in that look that cat has is realizing that its soul is being ripped from
Yeah.
within it as they're creating this stupid ass photograph.
Oh yeah, and then there's probably some weirdo somewhere just
Just
jacking off,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
slamming
Just-
his meat.
Kitty
going
porn.
at it.
It's-
Just going at it.
Wow. With
We
two
went
T's,
there.
correct?
Kitty.
Kitty. Porn.
Kitty. And there's long pause number 2. Look at that.
Anne has bricked.
I have just ollied out of that conversation.
So let's build a better Batman.
I do think the 1960s would
Yep.
be better for this. I do think the idea of an actual, literal, just a cat and an adorable king costume.
Let's go with that.
Would be the way to go. No
Is it
boy-
an actual cat, or do we have a little bit of a Hannibal Lecter thing going on where this cat, it's just the face of the cat that's been plastered onto the front of a human
Like
being?
surgically grafted onto.
So we're going for
Yeah.
a more graphic Jared Leto sort of.
Yeah,
sort
we're
of-
already, now
I
we're
don't know
out of
about-
Adam West. Now we're
I don't.
I want to be man in the Adam West world with an actual kitty.
we're veering into Sargento Batman. Now that I would
Cheese?
see.
The cheese?
That I would see.
You mean it?
Dario
Dario.
Argento?
Argento.
Argento.
Did I say Sargento?
Yeah, I was like
Sargento.
cheese.
I like a cheese Batman. Cheesy.
like a
The more
cheese-
cheese, which brings us back to Adam West.
Cheese Batman. But okay, now let's deviate off that a little bit because I firmly believe that the Adam West Batman was the perfect depiction of Batman with this caveat, with this addendum. It is the perfect depiction of the Batman of his era, of his time. Because when the Tim Burton Batman came out, that's not what Batman looked like. When, the Christian Bale Batman came out, he did things that no Batman ever did before. Batman did kill, but I mean, he was totally okay with killing. He was not that great a detective. The Christian Bale Batman
Christian Bale Batman was a shitty detective.
he was a terrible detective boy. So the Batman that got all of it right was the Adam West Batman. He was suave. He was kill free. He was a great detective. He had all sorts of tools at his devising. I mean, he was the perfect depiction of the Batman of his era.
Well, of his era.
Of his
I don't
era.
know. I'm gonna posit another opportunity here, another possibility here for I think you're missing the Lego Batman.
That is the other great Batman.
The Lego Batman of its
other
time, I think
great
he is the
Batman.
perfect Batman for right now.
I mean, the live action versions of it, though, not animated, because if it was animated, then I would have to say, if you want to talk about
Any of the Warner Brothers,
like the Warner Brothers. I mean, the Kevin Conroy Batman
Right.
is the perfect Batman. That was a great depiction of the Batman of his era. I think that they took a little bit too much sort of they got influenced a little bit too much by the Burton universe, like their redesign of Penguin as the Danny DeVito.
Oh
gross,
yeah, that when
fat
they
mutant.
did that was like, oh no.
Why do you got to do that? Like, I mean, you can tell that Nolan didn't have a real good grasp on that universe because he said, like, oh, we can't do a penguin because that'd be too unusual. That'd be too, crazy.
It's like, are you kidding me?
He's a short guy who sells guns and steals shit. I'm pretty sure that you can have a guy like that.
Joe Pesci.
What was Hoffman doing?
I want Joe Pesci as the
Bob
Penguin.
Hoskins would have been the
Oh,
perfect.
Bob Hoskins would have been
Oh
great.
God, he would have been great.
Yeah.
But what was Philip Seymour Hoffman
He was
doing
too
at
young-
that time?
He was too young, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He would be
Yeah.
too young for that.
I disagree. I think that you can have a young penguin. You just have to make him. You just have to make him that kind of twisted individual who's a sadist and who has a lust for power and money.
I sort of like the Bob Hoskins sort of
Yeah.
like Cockney, bruiser,
Oh, yeah.
boxer gone to seed sort of idea for
That would
Penguin.
be. See, that's what I'm talking about. You got that. You have that rough and tumble EastEnder. That gritty crime lord kind of a feel to him. Like maybe he spent some time with the Irish mob kind of a character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. All right, Batman. No, he spent a little bit of payback. That would be fantastic, right?
There you go.
That would be
work.
fantastic.
That would work.
So, King of Cats. I am not. I keep.
Damn it!
I am
we
not
tried
gonna,
so
I
hard.
tried to derail
Like,
it.
we can totally get him away from this, but no, he's
No,
back.
he's-
King
He's
of
back.
Cats.
King of Cats.
King of
I
Cats.
stand by a small actual feline
cat.
dressed as
With-
an
Life
adorable
size? Life size?
Like
cat?
human
like
size?
like
or
or
no,
cat
like
size?
just a regular
size.
just a regular cat.
Dressed like a person.
Just like the cutest cat you have ever goddamn seen, dressed like a king.
So, but
just
what would his caper be?
adorable.
What does he want? More catnip? I mean, you have to have a good caper. Does he have to control his evil human minions with telepathy?
I think that we could work in a rivalry with Catwoman, like being mad that he's like the king of cats, right?
Wait. What if he used to be her, one of her familiars?
Exactly. See what I
know?
mean?
All right, so here we
That's where
go.
we
So
go
it's
with it.
How about it's a revenge tale then? He wants revenge on Catwoman for keeping him in a cage and getting him spayed or neutered.
Yeah.
There you
Okay,
go.
so
Yeah.
here we go.
That would make
Here
me
we go.
angry.
Here we go. So what's Act 1? Set the scene.
Someone.
Well, I think- I mean-
call.
Oh,
Hey,
now
here
who
we
didn't
go.
si-
Oh, listen to this.
Someone didn't silence their phone properly.
Well, I mean, it was on vibrate. I was waiting for Michael to call. Michael is he was running late, and so he's
So he doesn't get to take part in crafting this incredible,
Oh, he-
soon-to-be award-winning screenplay.
this Academy Award-winning screenplay. I mean, yeah, we are spinning gold here. So we got this.
So I think
revenge
the film
tragedy.
needs to start out. I mean, we got to start out with the big moment
Yeah.
in this villain's life.
Yeah,
I
what
think
is
we
his
need to
tragic
start with the villain,
backstory? Yeah,
the
yeah.
tragic backstory. I think we are on a table in
Set
the
the scene.
vet, in
Paint
the
us a
vet's
picture.
office, with the snip happening.
Oh my god.
God.
We're starting
So
right
the
off.
credits are rolling.
As the
over
credits are
a
rolling,
graphic depiction
snip.
of a neutering. Yes.
Neutering. Yep. When's
Yes.
the last time you saw that in a comic book movie? When's the last
Right?
time you saw that in any movie?
Warner Brothers, we're
answer
looking
that.
right at you. Why don't you have the courage to show? Why don't you have the balls to show us people get losing their balls? Go.
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 There we are. There, I did the heavy
right.
lifting. I brought us our opening scene.
All right. So here he is. He's got the cone of shame, and he desperately wants to lick his wounds, but
and
then
his balls, which aren't there anymore.
the open window.
Does he have? Do you think he has ghost balls? Like, thinks they're there, can feel them.
They gave them those plastic balls, 'cause
Yeah, they actually have
do this
they have like these fake plastic balls that you can like.
stick inside of a cat's scrotum.
Yeah, so they don't feel as if they've lost anything.
Okay, now, all right. I'm going to ask that. Now, me as a cat. Okay, all right. That would piss me the off because I'd be sitting there thinking, "Do you think I'm really stupid enough to think these plastic things are my balls?"
Yes.
See, there we go.
But they've got a.
That's what's pissing him off. It's not the
Oh, okay.
neutering.
Yeah.
It's the plastic balls.
I mean, they've got a. Let's be honest here, though. Cats have brains the size of a muffin top. I mean, they're not really that bright.
But does this one? I mean, this one's got to be a super intelligent cat.
got
Yeah,
right?
this is like
telepathy.
hyper intelligent.
A hyper intelligent cat. I mean,
So what if he's got like a surgically enhanced or genetically enhanced computer robot brain? Let's bring Metallo or Brainiac into this. We'll do a crossover with Batman and Superman.
There, and we'll get it right.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do
We're
a
gonna do
good
it
job
right.
of it. So we have.
Who are we waving at?
We have.
Who are we waving at?
We have
Wait.
friend of the show, Michael McCallum,
Who's
is
trying
not
to enter.
getting
No,
in.
keep the door locked. Keep it
Entrance
locked.
is being
Put a broom
denied.
handle.
Do not let him in. Do not let him in.
Put a
No,
broom handle.
no. Ah, son
Shane.
of a bitch.
Beans. Here he
What the
comes.
heck?
Please pull up a seat. Grab a.
We are
grab a
right
pair
in the
headphones.
middle
We are
of
in the
Build
middle
a
of
Better
Building
Batman.
Oh,
Better
look,
Batman.
we
Part
just
two.
happen to have a microphone set up for this guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
This guy. That was very Batman-esque already. He's like already in character.
I am. I'm right there.
You're right there.
So we'll give.
Do we have to fill him in? Do we have to give him backstory on
no,
what's happening?
No, absolutely
Nope,
not.
he
It'll
just
be-
jumps
It'll
in
be hilarious
with
if he
both
has
paws.
no backstory whatsoever. So the beginning of our tragic Batman story is a tale of revenge against Catwoman, where the king of cats is getting neutered in graphic detail during the opening credits, and he's nursing his wounds, but he can't because he's wearing the cone of shame. But there's an open window
And
it's
plastic
The
balls.
cone of
for escape.
shame.
Cone of shame and plastic
And
balls.
plastic,
Beautiful.
and plastic balls inside of his red and bruised scrotum. Go. Paint us the next scene.
There has to be some sort of clawing and scabs appearing from the cone. Maybe neighborhood kids are almost like a Pied Piper thing. They go to the cat man,
King of cats.
the king of cats.
Catman's a completely different dude.
You
We'll
know all
get to
your
him.
like lower tiered.
Oh, I know. I'm just waiting for when I have the courage to do Sin Fang. So don't look him up. He is terrible.
We've already discussed Sin
He
Fang.
is godless. He is a grim horror from a very different age. So we are. So now he's being. He has led the children of Gotham into a great sand pit that he's going
Kitty
to
litter.
use.
It's all kitty
It's a
litter.
kitty litter pit, like a clay,
man,
like
A
a
kitty
clay
litter
dust
pit.
I like that.
Yeah, and he's
Look, Todd's like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
I'm
that's
I'm
really
picturing-
good.
I'm picturing a little bit of a Sandman from Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
3, where
3.
the kitty litter
The
comes
only
alive.
good
Or the
moment.
poop.
With
the
the
poop.
With the
pieces.
The pieces of the
Uh-huh.
poop, the
On-
Is it
feces.
clumping kitty litter or is it
Yeah.
unclumped kitty litter? I
Oh, it's
mean,
clumped.
Oh,
it's gotta be
Because we have
clumped.
to establish these
Yeah.
real world questions.
Right. Because we have to do this like realistic, like the Nolan verse, where everything has to have a 45-minute explanation that is utterly meaningless. That is utterly purposeless.
Now, speaking of that, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
of course, this is going to be filmed in IMAX.
Oh yeah,
Of
This is
course.
going to be a 2.78 by 1 screen aspect ratio. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
So we want to
With-
make sure that we can just get our whole faces
Super
right in the
seven-
with the cat always at actual size.
Larger than
Every
actual size.
shot, the cat is always actual size on the screen.
Well, no, larger than actual size.
And
I
the
would
poop
think. I
is
mean,
always bigger.
35
The poop
feet
has to be
tall.
bigger.
I thought that the cat was going to just be regular cat
The
size.
cat is
That's regular
regular
cat
size.
size.
But on the IMAX screen, he's going to be 35 feet tall.
And that poop is big.
That's some big
That's as
poop.
big
It
as a
is-
Cadillac.
they're going to have to.
glistening,
We're going to
greasy, you
film
can
the.
just
We're going to
almost
film
smell
the
it.
clumps of feces in the cat litter. With a macro lens, so that we can see we can determine what he has eaten. All right, we're getting off track. So, King of Cats.
Can we get Tom
and
Hanks to voice the poop? I just feel like it would be sympathetic.
I mean,
you'd,
that
you'd,
would be
yeah,
the
I
goal.
think that. Yeah,
you'd care.
And Crispin Glover is the cat.
and Tim
Of
the Toolman
course.
Taylor as no, I think that Tim the Toolman
And
Taylor should be
each
the poop.
independent theater can make their own sand candy
I don't know,
for
there's
the.
there's
I
like a certain amount of irony having like Christopher Glover do the cat because I mean he was in that fucking movie about rats.
Yeah, Crispin Glover.
I think he
Crispin
should play
Glover.
every role.
I think
Crispin Glover should play every
Batman
role. Yep.
and Penguin. And
Oh
the
my
King of
God, I'm
Cats.
loving this. It's got a little bit of a Being John Malkovich aspect to
Right,
it, and I think
right,
Crispin
right.
Glover, from what little I know of him, because he and I were like this,
Like that.
That he'd put his fingers away from each other.
He would be
He
totally
snapped
up
one
for this.
finger clean off and threw it out the door.
I did.
Yeah, the weirder you can allow him to make it, the more happy he's gonna be. He's just
Right,
gonna.
right.
And I think weirder meaning just his normal way of
Normal,
Yeah.
normal way of approaching.
In fact,
the
I think the
world.
way he's going to approach it is he's just not going to show.
and we can have
And
it
he's going to
directed
be
by
like, this is deep. This is really deep.
this
I'm
is
just
some
not
deep
because
diving.
Batman isn't there.
because
just not
Batman is
really
in
there.
shadows. Batman lives
So I'm not gonna be-
in the rafters. Batman exists
In your
on,
dreams.
on crime and justice and possibly cheese crackers.
It's almost like
Sargento.
where Marlon Brando was trying to tell Richard Donner for Superman. Well, if he's an alien, couldn't I just be like a briefcase or a bagel or just? He goes, "We're paying you $3 million. You're gonna be there." It's
That
like,
was
"But my
literally
voice?"
the way of him trying to say, "I'd like to phone this in."
Yeah, can
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
be the voice?
Can I just
he
do
still did a
nothing?
great job in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a great job. Yeah,
But he could, that's
fantastic
what
job.
you're saying, Crispin.
He just didn't want to
Glover
get into
I
human
think so.
people
It's
It's just
clothes.
not.
Yeah.
show-
Not
He
show
just
up.
didn't want to. He just didn't want to have to pack himself into anything more than a muumuu, which they gave him a muumuu.
He wasn't that big then.
No,
though.
he wasn't. He
No,
was
that's that's Island of Dr. Moreau
Yeah.
land
Yeah.
we're going to now. That's
not. Wow.
He enjoyed
Talk
himself in that film, though.
Talk
Yeah.
about an entire island of Dr. Morons. Talk about an ego trip. Absolutely everybody on there from Richard Lester? No, that was the second director of the
Superman 2, right?
Superman 2. Yeah. No, but the original director, Val Kilmer, Marlon Brando, Firuza
Balk. was on
Did
it.
the
She
original
was in
director get
Island of
fired
Dr.
and then
Moreau?
sneak back on set on that
That's
movie?
right.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was.
the-
Oh my
She's
gosh.
really young.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
original director was fired and went and lived in the jungle of the.
This is
lived in the
absolutely
in the
100%
jungle
the
around the
fucking
filming
truth about that movie.
around the filming location when John Frankenheimer was brought in to like redirect the.
We
to
learned this
get
from
it
a
back on track.
documentary about it.
I saw that same documentary. It's
And-
fascinating. Yeah.
And then snuck back on as an extra. He got some like sympathetic members of the makeup crew to put him in prostheses, and he's one of the like extras. The
Why
original
would you
director.
even want to be like
In
if
it?
it's?
I think
yeah.
probably to like try to continue to influence it outside, like from the periphery.
You know that's
like, he
not
really
going to
did-
go well.
But I mean, this was his passion project. This was the thing that he had been writing the script and doodling all the designs of all the characters and locations and things for like 10 years before
So-
he even got the money to make it.
So
It
to
was
bring
fired
it
in a
full
week.
circle, he got neutered.
God damn. Maybe the King of
just
Cats
gonna
is
lean back
So
actually
for
in
a
other
second now.
words,
director.
in other words, the actual balls will show up later as extras in this film.
Their
no,
own
they're
little
the,
islands.
No. Oh, even better. Even better.
Poop islands.
His actual the actual balls survived the surgery, and they are telepathically controlling him from a great distance. The King of Cats isn't even the real villain of it. It's toxic masculinity.
Wow.
There
we go.
It's the balls.
the mic!
They look like two little brains.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, no one would suspect that this film would have such a deep, true, meaningful reflection of our society as it is today. But when those balls start controlling that villain,
Yeah. It's
Man,
almost
oh
like
man,
Minority
it's poetic.
Report. They're in like a separate room,
separate
in a
room.
shallow basin.
Yeah, that like
In a
lighted pool
in a cat bowl
In a cat bowl.
in a cat bowl. Oh
with
my
little
god,
paws,
it's
with little paws
genius.
painted around the rim of it.
Yeah.